In the previous video, we talked about how I prepare for my period so that I can be emotionally, mentally, physically, spiritually healthy and happy. In this video, we're going to talk about the next stage, the during stage. As the name implies, the during period is the time period when I am on my period. Anyways, usually when I am on my period, I feel a bit down. I feel down because I am in pain. I'm uncomfortable. I'm not getting the things done that I need to. I am just not as happy as I can be. And so what I'm planning on doing to change that is a few things. And this is what we're going to talk about. Number one, it is one that I actually have already done. It is using a period cup. Now, if you watch my previous video, I was 10 when I got my period, and I wore period pads. Sorry, this video just has to be descriptive to describe it. I'm going to mention the word period, obviously, the word pad, tampon, and stuff like that, because that's what we deal with as women. So why should we not mention it? So a period cup is amazing. Since I have had my period at the age of 10, I had to wear those bulky pads. I felt so uncomfortable, especially going to school. I think I was in 5th grade. And oh my gosh, imagine that. Imagine. It was so terrible. Oh, just thinking about it. I was like, that poor child, poor me. No wonder I never embraced my period as I should, because that's the thing. That's one of the things I want to do, is embrace my period better than just being so down on my period. But that's a conversation for another time. Right now, we're talking about the things I'm doing for my period. And the period cup has helped so much. When I started using a tampon, and that was not even until I had graduated from college, because before that it just didn't work for me. It was after I graduated college that I started using a tampon, and it was amazing how much it improved my emotional and mental stress. My mental health improved just from using a tampon. I felt more comfortable, like I could do anything. And so when I progressed to using a period cup, which was a year ago, it felt like that other level again. Now, it took me practicing a bit, just like I did with a tampon, to get it right so that I was comfortable and I was not leaking. But I think it's totally worth it. It's totally worth it. With a period cup, you only have to check it every 12 hours. And there's different kind of period cups. There's one you have before you have a baby, and one you have after you've had a baby. There's some change inside of you that requires the change in a period cup. But even so, though that's what it says, please pay attention to your own body and figure out which one fits best for you. And the fact that it handles about an ounce of blood, which is really awesome. And so changing to a period cup was so nice, because I only had to check it when I woke up, and then right before I went to bed is when I had to change it, which was amazing. But the other thing that makes a period cup incredible to have is that you don't have to worry about walking around with the bulk of all the items you need for the day. If you're going out, you have the same thing. And the third thing, this is one of my favorite things that I enjoy, besides, actually, everything's my favorite thing, right? But one of the favorite things I enjoy is that it's so much better for the environment. I'm not throwing away all these feminine napkins and tampons and stuff like that. This period cup should last for years and years. So I found it tremendously helpful, and that's really all I wanted to say about it. Just that having a period cup has improved the way I am in my period. The other thing actually I wanted to say is that one of the things I did notice with using a tampon is just the way it would sit in my body would cause my back cramps to feel a lot worse. So it was making my symptoms just a lot worse. And with the period cup, I haven't felt that at all. So that is a dual purpose it has served. If you have not tried it, I highly, highly recommend it. Lavender made a video about period things all girls should know. It's an awesome video. Definitely check it out. But if you wanted me to also make a video about it, let me know in the comments below, and I always can, because I don't think that's something that we should be ashamed of. Number 2, period budget. One of the things my husband and I figured out just a little bit ago, and so this is something we've also been doing that has helped during my period, is setting aside a period budget. Now, a period budget is for ordering food or anything like that when I'm on my period. Like I said, I do not feel like cooking when I am in so much pain and discomfort. One, it's just really uncomfortable. And 2, I'm so tired. I have a hard time. I spend as much energy as I can on my family and on my healing. I have a hard time spending more of it on that extra step of cooking. During my period is the time when I try very hard to turn my energy inward so that I do more healing in every way I can. And then once I'm done with my period, I feel like then that the majority of my period can go outward, and I'm okay with it, and I feel fine and I feel happy. A period budget gives me the peace of mind to know that if I don't feel well that way and my husband is unable to be the one to make dinner, we can still have a delicious, healthy meal depending on where we order. Limited projects. I don't usually have any projects or clients during this time, or at least I put a huge limit on it. And so I can spend the time having my energy be inward focused for healing and not outward focused for everything else. And this has definitely been helpful. I have done this somewhat, but I am definitely planning on doing that better in the future. Number 4, meditate. I have been meditating for, I would say, the last 3 weeks consistently. The last 2 weeks consistently. And I have been loving it. It's been so helpful. So I set a goal to meditate during the night, but sometimes I meditate during the morning, but I think I actually need more. I've been doing it in the morning to just be more calm and more peaceful, and that has helped tremendously. And I do it at night to just help my brain shut off so that I can drift asleep faster and better. Yeah. And when I do it at night, I can feel the stress of the day melt away, and I just don't even remember falling asleep. So I usually use a guided meditation. I use Insight Timer, which was recommended to me by a mom in one of my journal interview series. If you haven't seen the video where I describe what that is, just check it out in the cards above. But she recommended Insight Timer, and I did it, and it has like tens of thousands of free meditation. And I do a guided one because I'm new at this and I like the guided ones. And it has helped me so much. So I figured if I do this during my period, it could only help more. I think I noticed they even had one for like meditation during your period. I haven't tried that yet, but I will, and I will let you know how I feel. But definitely, I think doing more meditation, doing that kind of stressful, painful, tense time could only make it better. Yeah. Let me know if you've tried that before, and let me know how it's worked for you. Let me know if you've tried Insight Timer before and any other app that you've heard of or you've experimented with and that you liked, because I want to experiment with different things and see what works best for me. Right now, I'm really liking Insight Timer, but I don't know any better because I haven't tried anything else. Let me know. The fifth thing I am going to try to do is mindful watchfulness. I want to be mindful of what I watch and listen to. I mentioned in my prep video that I made a playlist for what to listen to and what to watch during my period. I mean, before my period, during my prep time, right? I want one for my period. One of the things I am very aware of is that during my period, I'm a lot more emotional. Things touch me more profoundly, and I'm just more sensitive. And so I need to be careful about what I am consuming during that time period. And so I have made a list of videos and songs that I want to spend my time watching and listening to. I actually did something similar when I was pregnant, because I'm very much aware that postpartum depression is hard. And I had a lot of my friends just sit me aside and said, "Hey, Lorraine, I suffered from this," or "This is a real thing. Please just pay attention and don't be ashamed or scared or anything like that." So I made a plan with my husband, and one of the plans I made with him for after I give birth is that I was only gonna watch certain things. I already knew the things that made me happy, made me laugh and stuff like that, and I was gonna do those. Like Psych, Leverage, those two things were my die-hard things. Can I even say that? Those two things were the things that I did, and I never got bored of them right after I had my baby. And my doctor said I was the happiest mom she has ever seen. And I really contribute that to being aware of what I was consuming during that time period of my life. And I think I need to treat my period in a very similar fashion. Obviously, it's not that extreme, but it's being aware of what I allow into my mind and my heart. I'm also planning on being mindful of social media. And we don't really watch a lot of TV, but when we do, I need to make sure that we're watching something that will help me feel good. And the same go for blogs. With blogs, it's not like they just pop up, right? You go and search for specific ones, and the ones I read are usually just like everything else I mentioned: positive, motivating, leaving me feeling good. So mindful watchfulness, being mindful of what I'm consuming, is definitely on my list on how to make my period better and healthier and happier. Physical comfort is the sixth thing that I am mindful of on my period. Now, I've already mentioned meal prep. I've already mentioned the period cup, but I just want to mention a few other things that I am attentive to during my period. One of those things is that I brew myself a nice cup of tea. Okay, I love my tea. I love my herbal tea. So I make tea all the time anyways, but just making sure I make the time to brew myself a delicious cup of tea in the morning or at night or both, because one, the warmth of it usually helps with my cramping. Two, emotionally it makes me feel good. My mom, whenever I was sick as a kid, always brewed me a cup of tea, or whenever I had my period or whatever, we had tea every day. But still, it was like a special kind of almost ritual when you were feeling unwell. And so it just mentally suits me to have that cup of tea. And then the other thing that I do is just making sure my heat pads are available so that I have major cramps so that I can put in my stomach or in my back. Just having those be available and ready to go. And because I don't want to go on a search in my closet somewhere to figure out where my heat pad went when I really need it. I just want it to be there so I can grab it and feel more comfortable. I have bought an electric one and also the ones you warm up in the microwave, and I use both. And while I love, whenever you see me sitting down typically on the couch or in a chair, typically I love having a blanket on me. But how I'm planning on working on my period is just with my heat pad and my blanket. All the little physical comforts that comforts you. That's it for today's video. I am so glad that you guys tuned in. Thank you so much for your support. Thank you so much for being here. I appreciate you very, very much. And I would love to know in the comment section what you do during your period to make sure you have way better period than you would have otherwise. I will see you in the next video. Bye.